welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast.
I don't know, where were you just looking?
I was just looking at I was thinking we got cameras everywhere. I was thinking, we got merch. I was thinking we got cameras, we got merch.
Oh, you guys up there in the nosebleed section.
This is the podcast where we, and by we I mean me, Appo, and my co-host / co-founder Vincent, we dive into the Disney Plus streaming service and we tell you, the listener, what is worth it and what is not. But again today, we're out of the Disney Plus streaming service and we're back in the OG streaming service. In my opinion, the OG streaming service, Netflix. We're here. But we're also excited to share that the merch has finally arrived. Take off your jacket so like people can. I mean, I know I got it here.
Yeah, absolutely, the back catalogue.
Turn around.
Oh, bro.
Take off your jacket. Slowly. Oh, geez. Did you hear that?
Yeah, no. Anyway, you can see. Whatever. Exactly. What am I going to do?
We'll take photos to post on the Instagram.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something.
Like we got models like ready to model it.
That's
and by
right.
models, I mean like me and Vinny.
That's
but
models.
I'm excited because those are going to be available to anyone that wants them. You just got to let us know. If you don't live in Adelaide, I don't know how we're going to get them to you, but we're going to try.
Yeah, postal
services and whatnot.
Australia Post.
I don't know about shipping things. That's Vincent's
You
domain.
don't know about shipping logistics.
That's your domain. You're a buyer and a seller of many things. You're a fine purveyor of like Pokemon things. So you go through the eBays.
That's true. I do go through the eBays.
So Vincent, today we're doing something exciting because it's something that's on the tongue of Twitter. It's on everyone's keyboard. Everyone's talking about it. It's 2021's very own Army of the Dead.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this until you told me we were doing it. So
Zack Snyder's very own.
I know Zack Snyder though.
Yeah. Not like brothers with Scott Snyder, I assume.
I don't know.
But like husband of Deborah Snyder, producer of this movie.
Deborah Snyder, producer of this movie.
Yeah. So we're not only venturing into like Netflix territory, but we're also venturing into horror genres.
Oh yeah, this is horror. Yeah, absolutely.
Of sorts. I mean, we'll talk about the zombie genre in itself because that in itself is a genre.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say this is horror.
Yeah. It's like zombie movies always sort of tread that line of being horror and action.
Yeah, some of them, this is more action than horror. Yeah. But you're talking, Dawn of the Dead or what was that? I don't know, something of the Dead. That was horror.
Yeah, dude, there's of the Deads, man. And
there's of the
horror,
Deads. Of the Deads, seriously.
So Vince, I'm going to give you some facts and we'll just get right into it because I've got some things that I'd like us to talk about, like talking points.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to look it up on the Googles to get some questions.
All right. So this got the 5.9 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got the 71% on the Rotten Tomatoes. Now Netflix, they keep things secret. Netflix aren't putting things out there. They're not going to tell you how much they paid for it, nor are they going to tell you how much people are watching it. Because like that's all under wraps, but it was suspected it's around $90 million to make this movie, which seems
very low.
Seems very low.
Although there aren't big actors in this.
I mean, Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like Dave Bautista. Who else?
That dude from Power.
I don't know what that is.
We'll get into that.
Okay,
but I'm going to give you the synopsis, then I'll give you some talking points, then we'll jump right into this. So after a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble by venturing into the quarantine zone for the greatest heist ever. And we're here. Have you been able to find any
I found some
Google questions, Vincent?
Yeah. So the first one is one that's probably on everyone's mind. Is Army of the Dead on Netflix yet? The answer is yes. To anyone... we did not get a pre-release copy.
No.
Not for distribution down the bottom. That didn't come up on our.
Yeah, Zack Snyder didn't message us and be like, Back Catalogue boys, like you're at the forefront of the podcasting game.
Yeah, that's right. Me and my wife, Deborah Snyder, the producer of this movie, not affiliated with Scott Snyder, or maybe affiliated with.
Could be. I don't know, but like good comic books he's involved with.
Oh, good comic books.
Yeah.
Is Army of the Dead a sequel to Dawn of the Dead? That's another no.
But I mean, the first one was a yes. But
first one was a yes.
That's a
no.
no.
This is another no because I've said no in the past.
It's true. I've heard it, man.
Is Army of the Dead good?
Oh, dude. Well, hey, don't tell them that because they're going to find out
They're going to find out. All right.
at the end of this.
There's just a whole bunch of, is Army of the Dead funny? What is Army of the Dead about? Where can I see Army of the Dead? Where can I watch Army of the Dead? Because if you're seeing it and watching it, that's two different things.
And also, we know that when we jump into the questions, the Google questions, it's hit or miss. But Vincent will always make it hit.
That's right.
He'll always
Also,
make it slap regardless of what's going on.
There's a hilarious, the trailer or clip, the official teaser, something came up and there was just this was it. You can see that.
That's Army of the Dead pitch meeting. Yeah, they're very popular on YouTube.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's get into this. I'm gonna talk about like.
Do you have this?
I'm gonna do some talking points. One, I want to talk about the opening scene and sort of what starts and drives this plot further. I want to talk about Dave Bautista, like just in general, because there's a lot of funny things I want to say about Dave Bautista. Right. I want to talk about some of the homages, some of the Easter eggs that are in this movie, and also I want to spend a bit of time talking about like our favorite zombie movies, things like that, and the fact that people have said that there is a. Did you hear that?
No.
Is that just on my mic? That's all right. People have said that there's an alternate theory that this is all about time loops and whatnot, which is mentioned in the movie.
Speak about that,
which we'll get into because
specifically.
they do speak about that specifically, and that's all what my Twitter has been filled with.
Yeah, I have not. Yeah, I mean, my Twitter is strictly photography these days,
and they're good photography. Hey, follow Vincent on Twitter. He'll put it in the show notes.
It's always in the show notes. Actually, no, it's not. I guess I'll put it in the show notes.
Put it in the show notes. But Vincent, let's get into like the opening of this movie, because we open with an army convoy on the way to Las Vegas, and adjacent to that, we open with two people that have just eloped. Like they've gone to Vegas to elope. A father and a bride. Man, you don't want it to be a father, like given what happens next. But
no,
a bride and a whatever, the groom. That's what his name is. Now, the whole premise of this is to start the zombie invasion, but it's like these army guys are driving and they haven't been told what's going to be in their car. Like what's in their car that
they got a crate of some sort, and it might be a briefcase, it might be a nuclear football, it might be just a regular football. No one knows.
Yeah, you know how like there was that scandal where like apparently Tom Brady like flattened the footballs?
Might have been one of them.
Might have been one of the flat footballs.
That's right.
With
Tom Brady's signature on there. Doing like Tom Brady was here. Spelled W-U-Z.
Because he's an old man, so like that was cool for him.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I want to talk about with this opening scene. One is the fact that I don't know what they were trying to go for, but I feel that they were trying to go for like Pulp Fiction vibes. You know how Pulp Fiction...
when they do the conversation between the dudes.
Yeah. And they're talking about like what it could be. And they're thinking of all these ideas and it's meant to be like a quirky and funny conversation. But it just sounded like what our conversation sounds like.
Yeah, just dumb idiot stuff.
Like if we ever dive into, thinking about, what this could mean or what that could mean, like it's literally just us being like, do you think it's aliens?
Well, Area 51 is around here somewhere.
So what I'm saying is
Have we got that Paul bloke from the movie Paul? Where's Simon Pegg?
Where's Seth Rogen's? So all I'm saying is that they missed out on an opportunity to put us in there.
Yeah, Zack Snyder, come on.
Zach, you should have put us in there and we'd have been like, aliens. And then people would have been like, do you get that? Do you get that line from like one episode of the Back Catalogue podcast? Probably like episode 23,
Yeah, I think that was actually something we put in the Patreon content.
Oh, that was Patreon content.
Not even in the actual podcast. It's behind a paywall.
It's behind a paywall. That's why Zach couldn't get to it.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But look, I'm all here for, crazy things happening leading to a plot advancing. But the way that this plot advanced, the groom and the bride were preoccupied with things.
Yeah,
like preoccupied with things that we cannot say on this podcast.
No.
But the dudes that were driving in the convoy were that invested in their conversation that they didn't even see a car with headlights coming at night.
It's pitch black. You see headlights coming at you. You notice that.
You do notice
and
that.
And also, the other mans would notice, he was preoccupied.
Dude, that sounded like a teapot just there.
It is boiling over.
Dude, he was preoccupied, but he was like you know, you can still look at the road.
That's what I mean.
Like you know, there's not a camera facing you.
He
You
was
have to
doing
put on a
these
show. He's like, look, I got to clean this roof here. Like, what's, you know? So, a fun fact, because you said that it is like a night sequence. That's I was doing some reading. I was doing some reading on this movie because there was also a documentary. I don't know if you saw it, like a 20-minute behind the scenes of this movie on Netflix as well, which I think is cool. I think that any new movie that comes out, like especially if it's a Netflix or a Disney Plus exclusive or whatever it happens to be, they should do a 20-minute behind the scenes things where you can, like, they'll be like, oh, you know, we did this with this and we did that with this, whatever.
Because I think that also gets people more into the movie.
Oh yeah, when you like hear about it, you're like, oh, I didn't really know about that.
And then you got Dave Bautista doing like, yeah, bro, I love this guy on set, and you're just thinking Dave Bautista, what a champion, you know?
Like he was like the world, you know, I don't know, I think he might have been the heavyweight champion of the world for WWE.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? So he's literally a champion.
He's got one of them big ass belts.
He does, which probably like, could they be made of plastic? Like I don't know.
100%.
Yeah, because
they could be made of plastic.
How you meant to make that many belts, you know? Or is it just one and they just hand it around? Probably just one. Makes sense that it's just one because, like,
I don't know why they would.
But
because otherwise, if they made more belts, they could just go to, you know, they could just go to Walmart, pick up a belt.
Yeah, just be like, well, what can you do? I've got the belt.
I've got the belt. I've got a belt.
That'd actually be hilarious if some dude in the UFC was like going to fight. You know, it's the title fight, and the dude that is the contender for the title, he just rocks up. He's like, I don't need to fight.
I've got the belt.
We stop here. Like he walks into the ring and he just holds it up. They're like, you've just beaten the system. We didn't account for this.
Dana White just says, my whole operation that I've built here.
Yeah, like the fact that I like don't pay my fighters like enough money. Like this whole operation is crumbling down now. But that whole sequence apparently took 5 weeks to film because it was done with natural lighting. So it was like done at dusk, so it was as the sun was coming down. You only got you only got like so many minutes, you know.
So they'd film, you know, the first 30 seconds of the clip. All right, good. Come back tomorrow at the same time, dusk. We used up all the lighting here.
But apparently that's what it was. There was no other than obviously car lights, but there was no artificial lighting involved.
No artificial lightning as well.
They didn't even do like no CGI lightnings.
Right.
It was all done with natural lighting, which I mean is cool. And like, you know, Zack Snyder, he's a man of his art. He enjoys.
I feel like if you're gonna go and do natural lighting, you just do it in one shot and see what happens.
Yeah, just be like, oh man, it's pitch black, but we got one shot, so like we're just going with it. Imagine that you're just like watching it. It's just like, why is this so dark? I can literally not see a thing. And Zack Snyder's like, yeah, we just used like the light of the moon, but like there was a cloud over it, so it wasn't as good as we anticipated. Like imagine that, and you're just like, well, this is art. This is art in some form.
That's right, 100%.
But yeah, that's sort of the plot device of like man's looking up at the roof is what started this movie.
I feel like there's a lot of, why is this the situation that's then progressing the story?
Yeah,
there was a lot of those, and I hate that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that we'll get into as we go on. Like,
yeah, I've got one. I wrote 2 things down.
Yeah,
from this movie, and one of them is to do with that, which we will get into.
Do you think that that's something that we can touch on now? Or is it a later?
It's like the end of the movie, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, the funniest thing is that, well, what this leads up to is that, you know, there's this dude. His name is Zeus. They didn't mention that in the movie, but I was looking through the IMDb's. Apparently, the zombie's name is Zeus.
Yeah, it's a good name for a zombie.
And he's like doing dip duck. Like he's went to the dodgeball school of dodging.
I didn't understand. Are they shooting him and he's getting shot and he's not being affected because he's a zombie, or is he dodging all of them?
He's doing both of those things.
He was training with Vince Vaughn before this.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn, like of course. I was like, Vince Vaughn, like the most unathletic man in the world, but no, because he does dodgeball.
He does dodgeball.
I was just thinking like Vince Vaughn, like on the side of like a ring, just telling this zombie like, duck, and I'm like, why would Vince be doing this?
Why would Vince?
Why would like comedic actor Vince Vaughn be doing this? Like sometimes in serious roles.
Yeah,
But no, you are correct. He would.
It was a reference.
Yeah, Like Patches. Patches was there.
Patches. He was throwing wrenches.
So essentially what happens is, we'll give a bit more of a plot synopsis, is that this guy comes to this group. He goes to Dave Bautista first and he says, hey, I've got this money in this vault that I need back. Can you please go?
You missed the whole thing about Vegas got overrun by zombies. That was one thing.
That's essentially that's what happens. Zeus goes in,
there was a whole slow motion thing of people getting bitten by zombies, and then it transitions into Dave Bautista and his friends shooting zombies and just killing zombies.
Yeah, which is like a fun opening sequence.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It was very Zack Snyder. A lot of slow motion.
It
felt like Justice League.
Yeah, and with every zombie movie, there's always like we're bringing reality into this. We're bringing some social commentary into this.
Yeah, someone's about to save a child and then they die, and then it's sad because it's a child. And
yeah, that's
not social commentary. That was what I was going to say, before, but you just said social commentary.
I was thinking because of Vegas, like we're all zombies of like we're just trying to go into there to get our money, get our drinks, get out.
That's right.
Be able to look up at the roof, we're doing those things. And also, like, specifically, whatever happens in Vegas, like, it stays there.
Well, in this situation, it has, because they walled the whole thing off.
Yeah, with just
shipping
containers. Which, I mean, if you haven't got anything else.
That's a big place, though. Yeah. How quickly did they get all these shipping containers? Vegas is not near the ocean.
And also, zombies, I don't assume they're just going to be sitting in one spot, just being like, yeah, we'll let those shipping containers come down.
They're not there looking up at the roof.
So they would just run off in all directions.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe there's this, I mean, if you're in Vegas, like, you may as well hang around.
That's right.
Like,
well, I guess there's a lot of people, yeah.
They got buffets there, They got gambling. They got, like, like a man dressed as Frank Sinatra, like doing Frank Sinatra things, like in a casino, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's everything that a grown man who's like still a child at heart could ask for. Although I'd never want to go there. Just walking through the strip and there's like 10 dudes dressed as Elvis asking you for money. And it's like, bro, what needs to happen is you need to give me some money for just the trauma that I'm experiencing here from all these flashing lights. Yeah. And people just looking up in their cars, I don't want to see any of it.
I don't want to see any of that either.
So you're right. They block off Vegas. And then everyone who was killing those zombies just goes out just doing normal things now.
Yeah, there's been some time that has elapsed. Vegas has just stayed there.
Yeah. It stayed there.
It hasn't
moved.
Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas as well as Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's true. Like, even if like there was tectonic shifts.
It stays in Vegas.
It stays in Vegas.
And now they're going to bomb Vegas. They're going to send a nuke.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's a fair idea.
Yeah, it's a fair idea, yeah.
Like, what else are you going to do?
That's right.
I mean, you could just leave it there, and I'm sure, like, eventually they would just die out, right? Or build a ladder. Because what we find out in this movie, the part of this movie is like they wanted to make like different types of zombies. They didn't want to just make, every zombie movie tries to make their zombies a little bit more unique and a little bit different.
But there's zombies, but then there's a better zombie, and he's faster, and maybe he can feel things.
Yeah,
and maybe he can love again.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff. And make like.
Zombie babies?
Zombie babies.
That was weird.
And I bet like there's the Zack Snyder cut where like the zombie babies are like, like Zeus is looking up at the roof, if you know what I mean. I think that's what we're going to say for that now. Like when we're talking about those things, it's looking up at the roof.
Looking up at the roof.
Which is fine. I mean, everyone can do what they want to do.
It's neither here nor there, folks.
It's neither here nor there.
If you're playing at home, it's neither here nor there.
But I appreciate that they try to do something different, but it was just like, I get it. They're zombies and they got a bit of like a conscience and understanding of, community and whatnot.
Yeah, but instead of communication, they just yell at each other.
Yeah, which is their form of communication.
Which is my grandparents, to a T, so.
Because like they're too proud to get hearing aids.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're just 100% yelling.
That's ethnic things though as well. Our usual, like when we're having a conversation, if you just had one of your non-ethnic friends over there, be like, why are these guys arguing? It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. And they go, no, he's just asking what he wants for breakfast.
And like what? But they look like they're, your nonna's there.
In a heated argument. She's got the wooden spoon.
She's got the wooden spoon. She's pointing it at him.
Dominic, you want the bloody eggs? My nonna doesn't speak like that. I'm sorry, nonna.
Do you think your nonna's going to watch the Army of the Dead podcast?
You never
know.
This
is interesting to me. an 80-year-old Italian woman. Like when I looked at like,
I wonder if they'll cover Zeppeli and salsicce.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Italian people do see wild things at least once a year. Like they do have just pigs hanging in their garages.
That's true. That's actually this weekend. Next weekend.
Yeah, I know it's coming up soon because
June long weekend, making sausages.
Like Zack Snyder needs to come and see like, oh, this is what gore and guts looks like.
Yeah, and then
Italians
will be
making
like,
sausages.
see this one here, this incision, this is the Snyder cut.
And then Zack will be like, this is amazing. That's what I'm going to call my next movie. That's how Justice League got released as a Snyder cut. So I want to get into essentially there's a ragtag group of people who go and they have to go get money from this bank vault.
Yeah, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat says, hey,
He does.
it's time to, there's money here. It's written off. It's yours if you want it. Something like that.
Surely the man's got insurance on that. He just would get his
No,
money
he got
anyway.
his money back. The insurance covered it, but it's still there.
Oh, he did say that.
That's why he's saying. But also, that's so suspect.
Yeah.
Man just comes in there, hey, there's 200 million. It's yours if you want it.
There's obviously ulterior
I'm pretty sure
motives.
he gets 100 million of it. So I guess that's the motive. But it just seems like my man's got 200 million. He doesn't need 100 million.
Yeah. And also, it's funny, they need to take a safe cracker to this man's safe. Like, you'd hope this
Just
guy
give
had
him the code.
Do you have the code? Yeah, but you still need a safe cracker.
Nah, but I was looking up at the sky in the penthouse and I had it in my book written down on my nightstand. And I've got the book there,
Yeah. So Dave Bautista, he's the heart of this movie. He's the main guy. He's flipping burgers when we see him again. But
also, he's got glasses with the band around there, and he takes off his glasses and puts them around his neck, and then he puts them on, and then he puts them over his ear. That's the aesthetic.
that is the aesthetic.
That's one of the two notes I write. That is the absolute aesthetic.
Yeah. If there's a part of me that wishes that I had glasses just so I could have the chain.
Right. I think I might have to do that.
Well, like you'd never lose them again.
I would never lose it. Not that I've ever lost a pair of glasses in my life.
No. But if you were considering ever losing them,
That's right. If I ever considered I might want to lose some glasses,
you wouldn't be able to.
that's right.
So that's actually the one thing I want to bring up is the fact that Dave Bautista, an animal of a human being, like he is a massive individual.
Oh, he's huge.
And he looks so like I've loved seeing this this flurry of like Bautista movies.
I love him as an actor.
Yeah.
I think he's great. He's got this kind of raw, it's him. That's him.
Oh yeah.
That's Dave Bautista.
He's not changing himself for no
It's
one.
no one else. No. He's not, Oscar-winning actor, but that's not him.
But also he will star in, or not, maybe not star, but he will act in, Oscar movies, if you know what I mean. Like Oscar Mike Wieners, he'll star in that.
Right, absolutely.
He was
Oscar
in
Wilde.
Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, he was great in that.
He was great in that. Just a brooding figure.
In the pan. He just had a pan.
Dude, he's always flipping something.
He's flipping something.
He's always
Bro,
doing food things. Which, I mean, if you're that big, you need to do food things regularly.
You need to do food things, yeah.
Like you can't just be eating one meal a day, unless that meal is something substantial.
That's correct.
Do you need to get a charger? Is that why you're looking around and making me nervous?
Around, bro. I'm making people nervous.
So I'll talk about Bautista just for a little bit. I love that, he's in this position in which he's flipping burgers and whatnot. But throughout the whole movie, we're thinking of him as just the everyman. You know what I mean? He's not like Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious, in which you know that he's going to survive everything. Dave Bautista is a dude that like his day job is flipping burgers. He wears glasses with the not even a chain.
No, it's just a
strap.
elastic band almost.
Yeah. And he's sad about his daughter.
And his wife.
And his wife. He had to kill his wife. But like if you're that big, like there's going to be something disgusting like that happens to you. Just because like, you got to relate to the world somehow.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's what I'm saying. If I saw Dave Bautista and I saw you, and I was like, which one of these two men relates more to me? Like, who do I relate with?
Yeah, that's true.
I want to be picking Dave.
Yeah.
Like, his name is Dave Bautista. Cool name as well.
Bautista.
Yeah.
Dude, he'd smack you in the face with his name.
His name is lethal.
You can't say it too many times. You get whiplash.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I think that Dave Bautista was great. As we said, as we said about Anthony Mackie, give us more Dave. Give us more Dave.
Oh, like we said about Anthony Mackie, give us more Dave. Anthony Mackie's fantastic. Give us more Dave.
Yeah, sorry, I should clarify.
We need more of him.
We need more of Dave Bautista in movies.
Absolutely.
And he recently said that he'd love to play Bane.
Oh, dude, he'd be a great Bane.
You don't even have to do no CGI.
No, he could be the OG Bane, where it's just
a massive juiced up dude.
Yeah, with the literal juice just like straight into his head.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see it.
I would. Anyway, the movie is essentially, it's a heist movie, which is exactly what it tells you it is, which is good. Because, you get the crew, you do the heist, and that's it.
And you get out of there.
You get out of there.
And, they're a ragtag bunch, and you sort of get to know them a little bit. Like, it's not really a movie in which, even though it was a 2 hour and 30-minute movie.
You do get to know them, and I think there was just enough for you to, think about these characters, but not too much to be, that's enough for this man's, Like, Guzman, he's just doing it for social media clicks, and he's a bit of a wild man. Which
I also don't understand how, they're like, we need to get this guy because he's like messed with the zombies before.
That was, yeah.
Was he previously, before they shut down Las Vegas, making all these videos?
Yeah,
or is he going into Las Vegas and making these videos?
I think it was previously.
Because it doesn't make sense. Because his videos are viral, you'd assume that they are continuing. Because he's famous. Maybe he just made one viral video.
That's right. Maybe that was his 15 minutes.
That was his Yumbo video.
That was great. That was his Yumbo video.
It's getting closer to 1K by the day. It's getting closer to 1K. But there's, I think his name was his name Omar? It might be his real name.
Who?
The dude that has the circular saw.
Oh, Vanders.
Yeah.
Vanders of that. I liked him.
He was he's the muscle. He's the man with the circular saw. He does circular saw things.
That's exactly what he does. That's what Zack Snyder said.
Yeah.
He said, look, Omar, if that's your actor name, you're going to be in this movie. You're going to have a circular saw. You're going to do circular saw things. And he said, sign me up.
So you got to sign someone up when they're doing circular saw things. Like and he's like, in my contract, do I have to get my shirt off? And they're like, absolutely. So he's like, sweet, I'm doing it.
He also doesn't use a circular saw after the original.
Yeah, that initial clip of him doing
the initial clip, that
thing.
was his thing. He's the man with the circular saw.
Yeah.
And then he dusts it off.
Yeah, he does. He literally brings it out of the desert.
The dirt, yeah.
He digs it out of the...
Yeah.
like
and then he doesn't use it again.
Yeah, but also a circular saw, you might use that for...
You need to lubricate that thing.
Well, I mean, I know you need to lubricate that thing, but I'm saying you could still use it for hobby purposes.
That's true. You could actually use circular saw things.
Yeah. And I know he works in an aged care facility, but maybe he can make a...
Cubby house for the elderly.
I was going to say a chicken coop so they can have pets and whatnot, But he also brings up one of our initial Easter eggs as well, which is he's got the Omega tattoo on his chest.
Yeah, what's that from?
From Darkseid, Justice League.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because Zack Snyder was like, I'm putting Justice League Easter eggs in this movie. Which one of them, how they have that montage where it's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat saying, this is what you do. And it shows the montage of them doing everything. And then they go into the vault and they open it up. On the left, and this is something I saw pop on my Instagram, but is the Snyder cut. The
DVD.
The films. Yeah, the Snyder cut DVD. It's just on Blu-ray, just sitting there. But it's there's an arrow going down. It's if you can't see it, this is the Snyder cut on DVD. Actually, it's Blu-ray. That's what it says. No, it's
in the movie. That's what it says.
Yeah, no, it's it's the film, the case that has all the film in it.
Okay, yeah.
Because Zack Snyder shared when they were does the Snyder cut exist? Zack Snyder shared this image of that.
Yeah, he said, look, it's here. It's not on Blu-ray yet, but it's here, and he circled it.
So there's two Zack Snyder things that I was able to see on the gram.
I did see the Omega tattoo, but I didn't put
two and two. Well, at least I think that's
two and tattoo together.
I think that's what that is,
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll get a back catalogue tattoo at one stage.
We will.
Yeah.
Not in my lifetime, but at some stage.
When we're dead.
Dude, tattoo my bones,
we're going to tell the
bro.
mortician, bro, I don't care. I don't want to be bombed.
Just go hard.
I just want to be tattooed. But just back catalogue related things. Put a Yumbo on me,
Get Yumbo to 1K when I'm dead at 75.
At 72, that's just not too long away,
Oh,
that's a good life, though.
I don't want to be too, optimistic.
That's true.
When I'm 150, bro, and then I die at 30, you know?
Yeah. That would be quite upsetting. Like,
That
not
would.
just because you didn't reach 150, but because that's like 5 years away.
I know, that's right.
You know, like we've still got videos and things to do.
Bro, touch wood. That doesn't happen.
Touch wood. But like, speaking of dead things,
premium
this is
walnut.
Walnut.
No, I wouldn't have a clue.
Because I was going to say, bro, like, I'm allergic. Imagine that. I just die here.
It's not made of
we're,
walnuts.
we're laughing about it like, hey, this, bro, oh my God, my hands.
It's not made of walnuts.
It's like a wall, but it's a walnut. Like, that's how this wood is made. Now, there's a thing that I want to talk about with you, because you're a film man. You're a photography man. And Zack Snyder, he wanted to get right back into his roots of like, when we're like, as a director, which we direct videos every Monday, releasing on the YouTube.
And sometimes every Sunday.
Every Sunday, yeah. And Zack Snyder was like, when we get into these big superhero-like movies, we're sort of just sitting back and the cameras are massive. We're not actually in there with the people. We're not there with the handheld cameras and we're like right in the action.
Zack Snyder's not necessarily.
Like, well, that was his experiences with being in these bigger budget movies.
Yeah, but was he in any Marvel stuff?
No, he did like Man of Steel. He did Batman.
That's what I mean. So he did very big.
Yeah.
As in, Superman is the man. He's not a Spider-Man. He's not down on the streets.
That's right.
He's not your friendly neighborhood Superman.
No, he's not just like saving like people who their bike has been stolen.
That's right.
Yeah, but he wanted to, for this movie specifically, he wanted to just bring in handheld cameras and get like right into the action and get right up into like people's faces, which is one of the reasons that in this movie, it feels like I'm you, because like 90% of this is just like blurred and then it just unblurs.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's out of focus, then it just goes into focus.
Like
and in the documentary that he was saying, he was like, I honestly didn't know until we edited this whether or not 90% of this movie was just going to be blurred because I was so close. But I just wanted to get the shot. So I just went really close and it worked out in the end.
That sounds like a terrible way to do this.
That sounds like you're just going to be like this.
But is he not looking at the screen on the camera?
Maybe he's just like, if
he's got his he's looking at the ceiling. He's looking at the ceiling.
I mean, if Dave Bautista is in front of you, you're going to be looking at him. Because that's a marvel in itself. Don't worry about the Colossus of Rhodes. Worry about Dave Bautista,
Well, look at the Colossus of, I don't know, Wisconsin or wherever by Dave Bautista is from.
So, should we get into some of the casting? Because we had a conversation just before we started that. Like, cancellations led to the cast member being changed.
Yeah,
in
the pilot lady.
The pilot, yeah.
It was what? Something D'Elia.
Previously, Chris D'Elia. Comedian and former sex pest, according to many sources.
Yeah. I said to the people we were talking to, I said to my co-host / co-founder, Apo here.
I was there.
I said, when you're producing a movie, when you're a Deborah Snyder type,
yeah,
your major concern is that, 1 in 10 actors are going to be cancelled by the time when you finish shooting.
Yeah.
So what do? Do you shoot 2 movies simultaneously, same shots, just different actors, so then you can just,
Yeah. So at least you can get, some of your budget back.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Because like,
do you overcompensate?
Because, if you got a type who's doing, things that are unsavory, you've lost 50% of your audience at least. Like, you still got that guy from Mortal Kombat who was laughing at the sexist comments.
That's right. That bloke that, yeah.
Vincent wished he saw him. You're not a violent man, but like, you would have got violent with that man.
I might have pushed him down a few stairs,
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
In this day and age, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's right.
So long as it's not on video, so then you can't, you don't get cancelled. It's like when the dude that acts.
We can't get cancelled before the Yumbo reaches 1K.
Dude, please, reach 1K. Hashtag get the Yumbo to 1K. Get that tattooed on my body. If it gets to 1K, when we die, I'll get it tattooed on my body. Like just a Yumbo. Imagine some super back catalogue fan that we just don't know about who's just, got our pictures up on their wall. Just comes up and is like, Yumbo's up to 1K. Yeah. And just like,
Brands us.
No, I was saying he kills me. And then the mortician's like, well, he said that I have to do this.
The mortician's right there. He's brought him with him.
And I'm just like, well, it's in my contract.
Hi, I'm a big fan of the back catalogue. Oh, yeah, nice to meet you. Who's this guy? Oh, he's the mortician. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is exactly the way I wanted to go. We're getting morbid on this,
Yeah, that's
We're getting real morbid. Like, my mum listens to this. She won't be happy with that.
Yeah. My mum won't be happy for you either.
Yeah, no.
She'll get upset at me for
why would you
allowing you to say such things.
But you got to understand that, like, when we're doing content, I know we could get cancelled for things, but you just got to keep the content flowing.
Just got to keep it going.
If you say
we don't do edits here.
If you say something about like killing folk, well, I have to jump on the bandwagon with you. I can't be like, Vincent, this is not the time nor place. I'm like, this is exactly the time and place. Let's plot it all out. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Next topic. What are we talking about? Zombie movies, just in general?
Yeah, I want to. Well, actually, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the one scene with, I believe, her name was Chambers. The friend of.
Dude, yeah, I love how they got Guzman in.
Yeah.
Said, all right, Guzman, you're in. And then he just rocks up with 2 other heads saying, yeah, these guys are coming too.
Well, the more the merrier,
And then Dave Bautista's like, oh, well, that's all right, fine, that's all good.
Well, he knows that he's only going to give him like a smidgen of the cash.
I know, but it just seems like,
Yeah.
You want people that are trustworthy when you're dealing with money in that number and you're doing a heist. So you're already criminals.
That's right.
So, you're thinking, who's going to stab me in the back?
And who's going to know that I've been stabbed in the back and I'm in the vault? No one.
Exactly.
Like I'm about to get nuked.
But Chambers, bro, I was so upset when she died.
Oh, man.
Because she was the coolest character apart from Dave Bautista.
Yeah. No, I like Chambers, not only was the red bandana cool.
Oh, dude.
Which I think was meant to be a homage to one of the, I remember watching like Aliens and there's this like lady in that who's just like shooting folk, or aliens, I guess, with a red bandana on. And she was like badass, like 100%. Sure. And I think that Chambers was like, dude, I've got to get this red bandana on to like bring it to 2021.
Dude, but when the man's that the rich guy says to come and keep tabs on him.
Yeah.
Bro, when he...
Dogs are out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dogs are out, absolutely. Yeah. And she fights through zombie after zombie. And the way she does it, that's got to be the best zombie fighting I've seen.
That's great.
On screen.
That's
ever.
Too good. Yeah. If she had survived that and just continued on.
She was almost there. All she needed to do was get up.
But like if you've not only fought, probably about 100 zombies, like not even exaggerated, probably about 100 zombies, plus you've jumped or been thrown through a window, you're going to be a bit tired.
Bro, if I was in a 100-meter swimming pool and I'd done 99 meters, I wouldn't drown then.
It was almost at the end, he just drowned. He just gave up. The ladder was there.
That's what I mean.
That's true. That's a good way.
Because 99 meters, I barely swam 25. I was holding on to lane rope. That was, it was one hand doing the backstroke, one hand doing the lane rope.
Dude, that's the Instagram clip right there. That's too funny, man. One hand doing the backstroke, one hand doing the lane rope. Dude,
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
But the whole time I was thinking about that, I was thinking about one of our favorite comics of all time is the Walking Dead comic books, and there's the panel in which is it Tyrone goes into the
Tyrese.
Is it Tyrese?
I can't remember who it was
because I always forget because there's T-Dog in the movies, in the TV show,
and what they were in the comics. Yeah, anyway,
but the dude with the hammer. He gets in the comic book. He gets put into the gym. They're in the prison, and he gets essentially locked into this gym with like 40 zombies in there. Like this place is full of zombies. And when they reopen that gym later, he's just sitting there with all these dead zombies around him. And it's that beautiful thing that they do in movies of
you don't know what happened, but something crazy happened in there.
And you don't need to show it. And it's still because your imagination can fill in all the gaps. And you're like, this is wild. Like imagine just him just going through. sometimes when you show something like that, it doesn't come off being that good because it's just like, yeah, I get it. Like it's wild. But
This came off well.
This came off really well.
Honestly, this was the highlight of the movie for me.
Yeah.
I said, this
100%.
this is worth it just for this.
That portion there.
When she flew out the window.
Because you're like, she's gone. Like we've passed her now.
Yeah.
And they did the good thing of, if you don't show someone's death, then you know that they're going to come back in some capacity.
That's right.
But then she just smashes through the window and she's still going. Dude, no, that was wild. And I think that...
I was mad that they couldn't save her. She was almost there.
Like, if she could take on that many zombies by herself, get like Dave Bautista involved.
That's what I mean. He was doing good things,
He was like...
exterminating zombies.
He was doing elbows to zombies and stuff. He's doing UFC moves. He was on X Games mode at one point. When he's running through the casino and he's just jumping on all the blackjack tables. That's X Games mode. That would have been so fun to be involved with.
Oh, I know.
Imagine just running, jumping over tables.
Oh, it's so good. He just throws tables at zombies. He picks up the table and throws them at the zombies.
And the best thing is, Dave Bautista is strong, but you don't expect the table to go that fast. That would be so much fun because that Dave Bautista, I assume that Dave Bautista was on a wire to make, it safer. But he was just running on this wire where he would have been felt like he was gliding just from table to table.
Yeah.
As an actor, that's you're like, this is what I want in my job.
This is what I've gone to acting school and also 20 years WWE. That's why I did what I did.
Man.
All right. That was, Should we just talk about the highlights of the movie?
The hits and the misses?
Hits and the misses.
And then I do want to talk about where this stands in regards to zombie films because a lot of people are saying, there's a lot of hype around this movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype. And I do want to talk about zombie movies because this is, it falls into the genre.
It does. It's a zombie movie.
Is it going to be like what Dawn of the Dead essentially did to the world at the time, or Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead and the original of the Dead movies?
Did Zack Snyder do Dawn of the Dead?
He did the remake of it.
Oh,
that was his.
Is that the shopping mall one?
That is the shopping mall one.
Okay.
That was his directorial debut.
I remember liking that movie. It was not bad.
That
they
also
go on
has
the boat.
Yeah, that also has a zombie baby in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Bro, what the hell is
Zack Snyder
Zack Snyder, man?
Which
Be careful.
Could be, maybe there's some things in his past that might be traumatic and upsetting, and he's putting that into his film and into his work. There could be social commentaries and whatnot. You know what I mean? Or it could be like that movie which when I was searching through zombie movies, and I was trying to remember there was this one scene in which there was this zombie and he's using a cell phone and they're trying to turn him into a human. It was from Resident Evil something. And I was trying to figure out what it was. It's hilarious. There's this scene where these scientists, they're with this zombie and it's all strapped up. And they've given all these zombies these games, right? And they give them the one with the shapes and you got the holes and you put it the right shape in the right hole. Mans gets a triangle, he's trying to put it in the circle thing and he's not fitting, so he's just bro, I'm mad, and just eats the scientist. And I was like, what is this movie? And I was trying to figure it out. So I was typing in all this random stuff into Google.
Zombie puts square peg into round hole, then eats scientist.
Dude, if you look at my history, it wouldn't be far off from that. Because I was I don't know how specific I need to get for this. But one of the things was, I was zombie uses cell phone. And now there's this movie with Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack in which there's this new cell phone that's been released and it turns everyone into zombies. Because social commentary of zombie stuff, I'm scrolling through, I'm a zombie.
So that's not social commentary. That's social yelling at the heads in the cinema.
Yeah.
But also I imagine this. Bring, bring, bring. Whose phone is that? Whose phone? All right, hold on. Hello? That's what made you pick up the phone.
Dude, that's too funny, man. It's when you remember Wakakiri?
Who?
Wakakiri. That the interpretive dance thing that kids used to do in primary school. Oh. It was this interpretive dance competition. And ours was we were plants. And these dudes came and they were these dudes all dressed in white and they were putting some smoke around us, and then we as plants died. And then some environmentalists came and helped us out, and then we as plants came back, and our dance moves had to signify new life and whatnot.
You as plants, your dance moves.
Us as plants.
Or as you as plants.
Literally, it was me. I was wearing a brown like full body suit, and I had green on my arms, and I was literally in brown face. And I look back on that and I'm like, dude, you can't be just putting kids in brown face.
You can't do that.
And we lost.
You need bright colours.
You need bright colours.
Because, you know.
Like, I don't understand why we had to be so brown everywhere. Like, we could have just been green on the face, but we were straight up in brown face.
Could have been nothing on the face.
We could have just been humans.
You could have been human on the face.
Could have been human on the face.
You could have been you as plants as also humans.
So then we ended up losing to these people who did something about drugs, and it was like, Annie, are you okay? And someone like named Annie died because she like was doing drugs and whatnot. And they were doing like Michael Jackson moves, you know? So they should be cancelled for that, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's cancelled now.
As Michael Jackson interpreters.
So what were we talking about before? Well, we want to talk about some of the hits and misses.
One of the other things that I really enjoyed about the movie was the friendship between Dieter and Vanders.
Yeah, the cracks, the safe crack and the...
I liked him as a character, but I also liked how Vanders was so against having this safecracker come on, you know, oh, he's never even shot a gun. What's going on? And their friendship, you know, continues, and they're really good mates after.
Yeah.
And I love that. And then Dieter saves Vander's life, and I'm going, bro, did he save his life though?
Well, yeah. So I wish that they had more time together.
Yeah.
And like I wish that they knew each other before, so then you could at least do like a prequel film of them before.
Yeah, that's true. They were good. That was a good joy. Dave Bautista and the that lady, I didn't really rate that because then it was like, oh, I didn't do this for the money. I did this for you, Dave Bautista. I did it because I love your glasses with the elastic around the back.
And he's like, oh, that's so sweet. Like,
and then she
you.
gets her neck literally snapped.
That scene, I was like, because I wasn't expecting it. You know,
No.
when you're hearing like, I did this for you, you're like, oh, they're going to be happily ever after.
Yeah.
And then she opens up the elevator and her neck gets snapped all the way around, but she's still smiling because she's like, I just said like the nicest thing in the world.
Yeah,
what am I going to be, upset?
I don't know what our laugh was. That's hilarious.
And then she has like vertebrae sticking out.
And at that point I said, everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
The only person that's going to survive is his daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
Which wasn't entirely true because Vanders does survive because Dieter puts him in a safe.
That's right. Which leads to, you know, potential sequels for this movie.
I didn't like that.
No.
I didn't like that at all. It's so dumb.
Especially because he's walking around for so long. And he's you know, how long has he been in that safe for?
He also went there during, like, the plane that he caught or bought or whatever he did, it's got to be around Vegas.
Yeah.
He walked there.
Yeah.
He also walked for countless number of kilometers
through...
and didn't turn into a zombie.
Also walking through what I assume would be a very toxic space. Yeah.
Yeah, dude would be dead.
Yeah.
I didn't think, why do they have to leave it open like that?
That's right.
They could have just gone into another movie, made it a sequel. Oh, one of the dudes, when the nuclear blast, it flew him into Mexico City. And now there's a zombie in Mexico City. You know?
Some dude just like literally is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're just like
that's
zombies.
what I mean. They could have just made something stupid up like that, but they had to have some sort of, you know.
I mean, it would have, you know, I know that, you know, these sorts of movies, they don't need to do happy endings, but it would be nice if that dude was just on a plane, just styling.
That's right. That's all it had to be.
That's all it had to be.
Because, you know, obviously he survived because he was in the safe.
Yeah.
He could have just walked out of the safe and because of the nuclear radiation, he could have melted right there. They could have done that.
Could have.
They could have also just had him walk out with a whole bunch of cash and then he goes to the elderly home and gives, you know, $500,000 to this, you know, old lady to build a cubby house for herself.
And he's like, don't even worry about like materials because I'm just going to use my saw just to cut things down.
That's right.
I see that man's house there, like I'm cutting the door off. That's for you. That's for you, elderly lady.
Yeah,
from the pool.
that was one thing I disliked a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of things that I didn't like as such.
Dave Bautista's daughter, she's doing dumb idiot things the whole movie.
Like her dumb idiots things resulted in individuals dying.
Yeah, she was the villain of the movie almost.
She was, but like we have to like her because like she's Dave Bautista's daughter.
She had the biggest eyes I've ever seen. I was going, how are they CGIs? Because how do they fit in her head?
Dude, how are you going to bring out like all these little like pieces of content, you know? Like, we've only got 1 minute to put it on the gram.
Dude, we can put multiple if you want, you know?
That's hilarious. But
But yeah, she was so dumb.
Yeah. to be honest with you, this movie.
I respect. Sorry to interrupt you. I respect
That's all right.
her. Trying to help her friend who her kids have, whatever, does have a mother. I respect that. But to actively go out of your way to put other people in danger.
Yeah.
Come on. But also, that lady shouldn't have gone out there.
No, she shouldn't have. Like, I don't know what her plan was.
Obviously, when you have, yeah, that's right. When you have, not many options.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. So I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions so quickly.
Yeah.
So obviously that might have been her only viable option she thought in her head, which is kind of fair enough, but it's still.
But also, we don't live in a world where there's zombies.
That's right.
And she went in there with a guide who could have told her, hey, let me just tell you, the zombies are they're not just walking, like they're not shuffling around anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
They're on horses. They're on zombie horses.
Right, they've got a zombie tiger there. That's actually, part of their crew.
He's just chilling.
Dude, not even Pablo Escobar had a tiger part of his crew. He was just a tiger that he had as a pet.
Pablo Escobar had one.
I don't know. Someone had a tiger. Mike Tyson, maybe?
Mike Tyson did. Well, I mean, if Mike Tyson, imagine it's Mike Tyson versus like whoever was one of the big people that he versed, right? And he's just in the boxing ring and it's like, oh, but we got to do, you got to do the undercard. And it's just some other bloke versus a tiger. The tiger just got gloves on, just smacks the skin off this dude.
It's Mike Tyson's buddy, the tiger.
It's like, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson's buddy, in parentheses, the tiger.
In case you can't see from the image of the tiger.
Dude, that would be wild. That'd be wild.
That would be wild.
Because, yeah, you're right. No one has a tiger as a part of their crew.
No.
Which is wild to me. But also, that tiger was hilarious for a couple of reasons. One, it like beats the skin off of that dude.
Yeah, and smacks him against so many pillars.
Yeah, which is a great scene. But there's a part where all the zombies are running into the casino, and the tiger like runs in and then he's just like sits on top of a car and like yawns.
Just waits.
And I'm like, dude, that's exactly what my cat would do. Like when there's things to do, my cat's not involved.
But it's like he got there. He's like, no, I'm done.
He's at the edge of the pool. He's done
at the end of the
99
pool.
meters.
He's at the edge of the pool, absolutely.
So, can I just say one thing? I had no. I'm all for. I love. Zombie movies are a space in which individuals who make them can be quite creative in the way that they make different zombies. Quite creative in the way that they make groups of zombies as well. And obviously in this case they make a different style of zombie, but they did nothing for me. No one did anything for me in regards to the zombies in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool that now they've got, they've got a crew. The zombies are now forming a society. George Costanza's there yelling about society, and he's wearing a helmet to not get shot in the head. Why doesn't he put all his other mates in helmets?
Why don't they just
They've
wear
got that
metal?
much scrap. That's right. They've got scrap metal everywhere.
Yeah.
There's just cars. Just wear a box on your head.
Wear a box on your head. Just a box.
Because apparently they can't die unless you hit them in the head. So they might as well just run. If they run into things, what are they going to do?
What are they going to do?
They're just going to get up.
It's true. I'm sure they wouldn't be able to bite people if they just got a box on their head.
No, I know. But
you
when
could
they're
take it
close
off.
enough, you could take it off.
Yeah, that's right. Also, this is just Planet of the Apes. Like they're doing Planet of the Apes things.
Oh, dude, it is. Yeah, 100%. This is just Planet of the Apes with zombies.
And I assume that was also, a bit of a homage to that. Because, one of the scenes that we see of this Zeus man is him on top of the statue of...
Whatever it is.
What's it called?
Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
But like the Las Vegas version.
Not the real one.
Not
yeah,
the real
yeah.
one. And he's got a thing on a stick.
He's got a thing on a stick.
And like if you're talking apes, you're talking things on sticks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how about we quickly talk about some movies, zombie movies. Talk about our favorites.
Let me just talk about the worst part of this movie that I hated.
Okay, yeah.
Was when they've Dave Bautista's got his daughter.
Yeah.
He's got the lady. The lady,
Gita.
Gita. The pilot's there.
Pilot's there.
He doesn't have any cash, but
Krista Lee ain't there though.
Krista Lee,
he's cancelled, bro.
He's absolutely cancelled.
Like, is he still cancelled? I don't know. People sometimes come back from cancellation, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We won't keep you like this. Won't become like is Krista Lee cancelled the podcast?
Yeah, that's right. We're not going to be answering that every week.
Although that would be like we could do that because it'd just be like yes, and that's it. That's the end of the podcast.
Dude, that's hilarious. Maybe we should do that. No, anyway, so they've got the helicopter,
Yeah.
You know, there's a bit of the helicopter. Oh, I thought I was going to go, but then I thought, no, I better not because then, you know, some joke here.
Yeah, like wasting your time and mine.
Yeah. And Dave Bautista is got everyone on the helicopter, and then he's looking up at his daughter like, yeah, bro, those eyes are huge. He's taken half an hour to get onto the helicopter.
Yeah,
Get on the helicopter, then talk about her eyes.
And also, then the daughter does, instead of being like, Dad, look behind you, she goes like this. And like looks like with a horrified
dude,
look.
That honestly, that frustrated me so much. I was getting visibly upset.
And it's like, also the whole scene. So what happens is the Zeus man jumps onto the helicopter and he's like in the helicopter doing helicopter things, right? He's fighting Dave Bautista. And everyone's just like, as Vinny has said many times on this podcast, everyone's just standing around like a stunned mullet.
Bro, absolutely stunned mullets.
This is what you need to do. And this is what the daughter does. Smacks him in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Continue to smack him in the head with a fire extinguisher. Dave Bautista, the strong man that he is, just nudge that guy off the helicopter.
Yeah. You don't need to shoot him in the head. Just throw him off the helicopter.
You don't need to do headshots. Like if he falls on the ground, he might not die, but
that was so
he's
dumb.
not going to get up to the helicopter either.
And then he gets bit, obviously. And then they crash the helicopter. Guido's dead. There's no word about that. The daughter's gone. Now forget this lady now.
Yeah. Did we see her as being dead?
She just died. She 100% died in the helicopter crash.
The helicopter pilot has like one of the blades going through her.
Yeah.
Like shout out Blade, the movie.
Shout out Blade, the movie.
And Dave Bautista, he's alive, but he's, you know, slowly turning into a zombie and he's talking about lobster rolls. Which, I mean, you know.
That's kind
fine.
of cute bit, whatever. That frustrated me.
Because
that could have been avoided if he had just got on the helicopter.
Instead of looking at people being like, we did this. Or
if the lady didn't go, oh, and told him, hey, Dave Bautista, there's Zeus behind you.
Or here's another.
You know that guy from the credits of the movie?
Stuntman extraordinaire, Zeus. So here's another thing they could have done. Close the damn door.
That's right. They could have closed
Not only
the door.
on the helicopter, but also on the roof. They just left the door wide. You know, if I'm running away from something that I know is stronger than most things in this world, and I blow it up maybe, there's multiple doors between him and the helicopter.
Just close the door.
And put something, you know.
Because you can just push the door back.
Yeah. And at least you hear, you know, before the dude comes out.
Yeah, because they ain't got WD-40. Vegas has been abandoned.
It's been abandoned. Unless
no one's oiling them.
Unless the WD-40 guy goes in you know, we got to respect these people here. We got to at least no doors can squeak.
No doors can squeak. Anyway, you want to talk about zombie movies?
I do want to talk about zombie movies because if you're a person who enjoys zombie movies, I got some recommendations. Man.
My favorite is 28 Days Later.
28 Days Later.
That's the first one. That's the first one I'm going. That is Diary of the Dead. That was the movie that I was thinking. That's a horror.
That's a horror. That's yeah, we watched that. It's like a camcorder sort of thing.
Yeah. 28 Days Later. I reckon that's the one to watch.
28 Days Later is great. 28 Weeks Later has one of the most intense scenes in all of
28 Weeks
zombie
Later is
movies
good
history.
as well.
That running scene at the start where the dude's just running
crazy, and you just see all the that's
on
wild.
these in this just open field, and there's about maybe just 20, 25 zombies chasing him. That's wild.
Yeah.
But one thing that is good about zombie movies is that they are that mixture of action and horror. So they're not movies that are closed off to people who don't enjoy horror things, because you can get a lot of action in it. You know, there are parts that are scary. There are going to be jump scares. There is going to be gore, but you get a bit of fun. But also on a good zombie movie, you get a good love for those characters.
Yeah, because they're going through trials and tribulations.
But also, you know, if you're going through trials and tribulations and you're in a safe house, you're going to be talking about things.
That's true.
You know? But I don't feel that this movie did that as well.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. It was a fine movie. It was fine as an action movie.
This movie relied on, you know, action. But really, when I think back on it, the opening scene where, you know, Dave Bautista's in Las Vegas and everything's in slow-mo, that was pretty cool. But really, the only two things that I can think of is the Chambers scene, which is wild.
That was wild.
That's great in itself. That's a movie in itself.
Yeah.
Give me an hour of Chambers just working through that place.
I just want a Chambers spin-off.
And the one where Dave Bautista's he's in X Games mode. Oh my God, he's in X Games mode.
That was cool when they were trying to escape the
But when we've got a 2 hour and 30-minute movie of a movie that is not, they say, social commentary, but that's not what this movie's about. It's about having fun doing action things. When those are the only 2 enjoyable action set pieces, there's not much going for this movie.
2.5 hours. Yeah, because they try to develop the relationships, and the only ones that I really felt for was the Vanders and Dieter relationship, because that was top tier. I really enjoyed that. The one with him and his daughter, yeah, that was fine, but that was dumb because, I didn't hate you because you killed my mum when she was a zombie. I hated you because you just left after that. Come on, Dave Bautista.
It's like, why couldn't you bring your daughter to flip burgers also?
Bro,
you're one man doing all the flipping,
That's a lot of flipping.
And not the flipping we do on this podcast, if you know what I mean.
Flipping.
So if you want to watch a good movie, good action story, characters, all 3 of those things, you got to watch Train to Busan. I don't know if you've seen.
I haven't seen that. That's on my list for a while.
That movie is wild. That movie is wild.
But that's what's his name. That's the.
No, it's not. Not the Parasite Man.
Oh,
is that what you're thinking?
Maybe I was thinking about that. No.
He
did Snowpiercer as well. Parasite Man?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the same guy. Yeah,
so it has got a weird janky CGI zombie deer, but other than that, it's pretty top tier.
If you don't get turned off by janky CGI zombie deer. Yeah.
Also, watch Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Watch the original Dawn of the Dead.
Watch 28 Days Later.
Watch 28 Days Later. Watch Weeks. Bro, there's a plethora of good zombie movies that I believe top this movie. And this is what I'm going to do right here.
Zombieland. That's a great movie.
Yeah. Which was that opening scene was very reminiscent of the opening scenes of Zombieland.
Yeah.
With the slow-mo, with all the weird places, like zombie strippers running around and people being like, oh my goodness, why did I dive into this world of sin? And it's like, well, I deserve this. I deserve this as a sinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Should we talk quickly about the time loop stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't think they needed to. They showed the people that had died there and they had the same kind of necklaces or whatever on. They didn't need to then go and show the people and the thing they had, the accessory that they had on.
And also the fact that the guy was like, he's said everything.
Yeah.
What you do, a nice way of doing it in a movie is to give people those hints, but not say everything.
Let them pick up the pieces,
Let them pick up the
pieces. And get to the gingerbread house.
And also, why did they die there and sit in that little puddle?
Who knows?
So apparently there's another bit where when they go inside, there's multiple of the Guzman's AK-47s sitting there. Apparently there's 3 of them, and that's another reason why it's a time loop.
Yeah, whatever.
And then another person was saying, oh, the reason it's a time loop is, how they do that first scene where it's them all in a circle and they're talking about the heist? That's footage from the time loop. And it's like, that's not what it is.
That's footage from the time loop.
I think, they're they had
that was when Zack Snyder
footage.
filmed the time loop.
That's exactly right. But if you're going to explain it all like that.
Yeah. I guess maybe that he was trying to do a kind of poking fun at it or something. I don't know.
I mean, it could have been. It could have been, it could have been like a way that, and I'm sure he might come out later and say this, that I just did it so then heads would start doing YouTube videos.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
I'd get more people coming across my movie.
That's probably something Zack Snyder would do.
Because, he's a man of the movie world, but also understands meme culture.
He understands meme culture.
Release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, like Martha.
Oh, dude. He made that bit and he was like, far out, people are going to go nuts. But Vincent, I think this is the part where we tell them whether we find that this movie is worth admission to Netflix. Because there's multiple admissions to Netflix.
I don't think it's worth the admission to Netflix. I think it was a fine movie, but bro, why the hell did he not get on the helicopter? That frustrated so much.
And then why the hell did
as the viewer?
Why the hell did Vanders end up rocking up on the plane, being like, "Oh man, I've just now realised that I was bitten by a zombie on the arm."
Get the heck out of here! You were in a safe for an undetermined amount of time.
Yeah, and then walk through all sorts of radioactivity.
If you walk through Chernobyl now, you're going to die.
Yeah. So maybe he'll be a special zombie.
Maybe you have 6 arms. Yeah. Anyway, is that all?
Wild.
You can find us on the show that we're on right now.
Yeah.
That's where we usually are.
That's where we're here. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube. Suss us on YouTube. YouTube if you... that's right. We got merch. If you want some, you can message me. $30 a t-shirt because... bro, it costs too much to make.
Yeah.
We went all out.
Unless you sign up to the Patreon, you can actually get it for cheap.
Yeah, if you're on the Patreon, you get it for $25. And if you
that's still
sign up for
deals.
$2, you technically save, $2, 15 cents after the exchange rates.
But in saying that, you also get
hella content.
over 40 pieces of content.
So
it's probably worth that $2 for
it's probably worth it. Anyway, that's it. We're on Twitter. I haven't tweeted on the back catalogue.
We got to do this Arm in a Dead tweet because this is like trending.
Arm in a Dead tweet. Yeah. Was it a time loop or was it a time loop? Are we in a time loop?
Is Crystalia still cancerous? That's the time loop that we're going to be in.
Yes.
Farewell.